Welcome, my name's Chris, and I'm back this week with a cool lesson on capoing. I wanted to demonstrate the different sounds of keys with capoing and really get at what capoing is all about. What I'm going to do is play you a song that you probably know, Take On Me. I thought that would be a good song to demonstrate this. I'm going to play it in the original key of A, and I'll show you those shapes that I would use in the overall sound of the key of A, and then we can move it around. And I'm able to do this because I think in numbers. And I've been talking a lot about this on this channel. I've got the whole chord family series I would check out if you want to look into that and also look into the ways I'm playing these chords. But I'm going to jump in here. I've got a chart linked in the description. I would check that out, and that's the harmony in numbers. That's what I use. It's sometimes called Nashville numbers. I just call it numbers. And it shows you the movement harmonically through a major scale. And I'm going to be playing in A at first. So this song's pretty simple. I'm gonna disclude the bridge because it's a little funkier, but the main part of the song, the intro and the verse, is a 2 chord. So if we're in A, we have B minor, that's our 2. E, the 5 is the next one. 6 is the next one, F sharp minor, some kind of F sharp minor, and then D. And then that's 4, right? So we have 2, 5, 6, 4. Little walk down back to 2. So when we first learned songs, you know, we don't think about the numbers usually. We're just trying to look at the chord chart. That's fine, but zooming out to numbers, you're going to be able to play this in other keys in different ways. But here in this key right here, before I play the verse again, let me play the chorus briefly. The chorus just repeats 1, 5 in an inversion, kind of walking down to 6. So this is like 1, 7, 6, 4, right, 1. And that's really common progression, 1, 5, 6, 4 essentially, but a little walk down. So now to review the whole thing in numbers, we have 2, 5, 6, and 4, walk down to 2, okay? And the chorus is 1, 5, 6, 4, and then that just repeats. Okay, that's it. So it's a nice little workout, right? We have the 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 chord in there, not the 3 chord. Actually, the 3 chords in the in this key. What would it be? That's in the bridge, right? So that one's in there too, and there's some other chords. Now the sound of the key of A. This is the reason I'm making this video, is to kind of compare these sounds and to see how I use numbers and to see what I can do for you. So the sound of the key A, I would do stuff like you could play these all like real standard, right? That's fine. But to give it a little bit of connecting sound, I might include some open strings. So just listen a little bit while I play. And of course you can play it in different ways on electric. But the key you play in is going to really influence the sound you can get, right? Of course. And the kinds of chords we can hit. So I could be real nice and open. You could even do something cool like take the B down to A. I'm going to test my string durability and also my ability to tune without a tuner. So I could go kind of just get, I like those. Isn't that pretty? So there's all this opportunity to think like this when we're thinking in numbers. I think it's just a lot more flexible. We're not so tied to the exact way it goes. So, okay, now, what about this key of A? How else can we play it? So this is the first immediate thing you want to mess with when you're like playing for bands or playing for fun. You might learn eventually, have room on your plate for another way to play the song that's kind of not as primary, right? Or not the exact way. So you could do G Capo 2. I often have students play in this key if the song's in A, instead of just play G Capo 2. So now we have this nice open G chord. And I really like this song in this key, and I often like the key of G Capo 2 over A, or the kind of key center. So here, same progression here, 2, 5, 6, 4. Right, so in here, what would have been? So where that lead line, right, is doable a little bit easier here. So that's stuff that's on the table now, if you can change key, right? And then I could also play just really nice G sounds. I could play, you could go, right, there's lots of, like lots of cool stuff. Even you can go up the neck in this key. Right, it's so pretty, right? The guitar loves the key of G because it starts with a G, I guess. Super beautiful key. So, and the whole song you can kind of play there. That's the bridge part. So that's kind of how you think about this is like, can I play the whole song relatively easily? And, you know, just like looks for some examples of people doing this and you can get inspired. It totally changes the sound, right? Really changes a lot of stuff, and it also changes what we can do. Okay, so now another key. I'm picking from these keys, by the way, thinking about like caged. Not the caged system per se, but those 5 keys are really good for guitar in this way. So to keep it in the key of A still, let's say that we're just finding other ways to play it. So now Capo 5 is the next form we can play it in. And I will also link below a review of my initial capoing video where I talk about how to think about capoing. So you can do the same thing here. You can think about, okay, actual key is A, what's under that chromatically, meaning like A flat's under that, not a good guitar key. G is, so if you raise G up 2 half steps, you get A, right? So now if we raise E up, which is like another good guitar key under G, we get A if we go up 5, right? So now that's still our original key. So I could play 2, 5, 6, 4. This is cool. And I'm just trying to find what I can do. There's like little movements you can do. I could do, trying to figure out how to get that 7 in there. But this is how my brain's working, right? You're trying to get in the same sounds out of both things. And these are really fundamental sounds, right? I'm not doing everything exact, but I'm playing the harmony. Okay, so that's key of E. I really like that. That sounds nice. My favorite is still key of G, probably. Or key of A with that down-tuned A is cool. You have to let me know what your favorite is here. One more key. These, well, I say 2 more because we have C, A, G, E, D. So we've done G and E, right? This is how caged works. G, E. So the next key you could play in, up the neck would be D, right? Yeah, that's the next letter in caged. So that would be good old Here Comes the Sun Land. That's where this is played. Here Comes the Sun's played D Capo 7, which is D, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So you're raising D up 7 frets. So that's how you have to wrap your head around capoing, right? Okay, so nice and real nice and bright, right? So this could be a really cool secondary guitar part. If you have a song in the key of A, you play up here. And now I've got, can I think of these sounds in A? Or sorry, in D. Get my key right. So I'm in D now. My 2 would be E minor. My 5's A. And when I'm thinking about this, it's really automatic. I'm not even really thinking about it. It's just got a feel thing, right? All this context just works for you, right? So, minor, there's a 6, 4, 1, down. So this is obviously high, but you could do really pretty stuff on the top. So I could play lead guitar like this. Right, so you can do a lot of cool stuff. Whatever. That's really pretty. totally different sound. Now, let's say we take that down if your voice was different. So this is a more real world example. Let's say you, just your voice needs to be in a much different part of the neighborhood. So what if we do drop D? Let's just randomly pick drop D capo 2, which is actually E, which is like a fourth away from A or fifth, depending which way you go. And that's generally a good way to get into a good key for your voice if the song doesn't work. Something like that. So now I would get this. This is cool. I like that chorus with that low D in there. So yeah, right, just different vibe. I will also mention here that if you were to arrange this for guitar, like doing, in this key, what would this be? This really shows off your key ability. So, you know, it's okay there. I don't mind it. What I really like, so I can kind of go back through and find that maybe a good key for an instrumental version for myself, right? So everyone's got different skill sets, of course. So, but that's what that D would sound like. Key of D, really full, especially with drop D. And finally, we haven't played in key of C yet. So let's say we'll just keep it here for now. So this would actually be C 2 up would be key of D. And that would be 2 lower than what we just played, right? D to C. So now I got to think of chords in C, and we've wrapped around caged, right? We started at A, we went to G, E, D, and now we're at C. So I didn't mean to teach caged in this, but there you go. So the caged can help you with capoing a lot, right? And I'd actually argue it the other way happens more. Capoing helps with caged. Understanding just how to move keys around, because, you know, we're not often maybe a lead guitarist looking for the right shape up the neck to play lead guitar in, maybe so, but you're probably more likely a rhythm guitarist that needs some inspiration, and you need to like look into playing songs differently. Like I did this out of necessity. Like I would play a song like Free Fallin' or something, or a song in G, and I would just like get really bored for playing it for gigs or something. So I would start to play songs in G that were in G, E Capo 3, which totally changes the sound and feel of what I do, right? Or doing other weird stuff, playing A down-tuned to make it sound like G. So just get kind of really like out of the box. It's really cool to experiment because you can find some beautiful sounds. I'm not even going to get into like partial capoing. That's a whole thing too. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Okay, so where were we at? C. So now I got C's 1, F's 4, G's 5, A minor 6, D minor's 2. So we have so I like this here, and then this would be maybe a good candidate for a melody. It gets a little high there. So maybe not the key of C. It could maybe still work. And then we have the chorus. This is a beautiful progression in this key. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1, 7, 6, 4. And then that bridge would be E minor, right? And then it goes to flat 7, B flat in this case, right? So you see how numbers really get you at the sounds. Like that, it's not like the chords as they would be in a certain key, maybe the exact key that was played, right? When you like learn whatever Bohemian Rhapsody or something, you usually learn it in whatever that is, B flat at the beginning, right? You like learn the original key, or Here Comes the Sun, you might learn it there, or Hey Jude, you might learn it with F chord or whatever. But then you like learn how to like think out of the box. Like, you know, Hey Jude's a good example. So you could play here, you could play it here. It's an F, right? So I'm moving C up 5 half steps to F. And if I go up to the next one, it'd be A. Kind of high. that'd be that movement. So there's not a really good reason to play it like that, but sometimes there is great reason, especially on songs that are really diatonic chords like Take On Me. So I think we did them all, right? We did C, A, G, E, D. I'll quickly demonstrate with one more song, just because I really want to get this point across. So let's try maybe a tune. I was thinking of doing just something super simple. We'll do Free Fallin', just to give you an example of something to really get the vibe of the key. That's what I'm trying to show. So that song originally is in F, right? I think we're kind of in the same position we just were. So, you know, in F, this is the typical way I play it out of the gate. I would never play it F chord, right? Maybe on lead guitar, but probably not even there, right? There's just not any warmth to that. There are certain genres of music where you might, you know, the more funky or jazzier it is, the more movable chords there are. That's kind of the spectrum, often for me. Or the more rhythmic it is, I might play a less capo because it's more about like the strummy bar chord stuff. But you're often wanting to, if you want to cover harmony in like a really full way, it's like kind of akin to piano. If you play piano, when you pedal, right? This is kind of what we're trying to recreate here, is pedaling. We're trying to recreate like good, long, easy, beautiful resonant sounds, right? That can really give a song a really nice feel. So here, I really like this in drop D. And you could go, right, there's that John Mayer cover. I think that might not even be in drop D, but I think it's in a D form. So I can include, you know, all this beautiful stuff. I could have that on the top. I could even do just the D on top and harmonize the bass. I could do this. This is kind of hard actually here. I could go like I love that sound, right? Super pretty. So there's that sound of D, and if I'm playing the melody, this is a little easier melody to play. I could really, there's that melody there. So there's that melody's a few spots. I could kind of play it, and you can kind of even feel, you know, like what can you do in the key, and that's all so dependent on what key you're in. So there's that. So now the next one, if we're doing caged again, why not practice that? We have C, right? So we just did C Capo 5 earlier. What if I do something else to mess with it too? What if I took C Capo 5, now I'm really thinking out of the box. I'm just gonna move that B up to C. Sound like a banjo, like, or bluegrass or something. Kind of just like what we did, right? But a little easier to move. And put the melody there. Just totally changes the guitar, right? Like I'm barely playing any notes. That sounds cool. So beautiful, right? And I don't play the thinnest if I'm doing that because everything's weird, right? That's not campfire music. So yeah, it's so pretty to get out of the box like that, right? In my opinion. My humble opinion. Oh, we also, well, we'll get to E, I guess. But so we have done D. Now I'm working back through caged, right? So D's at the end of cage, C's at the beginning. So A would be next. And that means that you can ask yourself this, if this helps with capoing, think, if I play an A chord, where does that root note need to be F, right? So it'd be here. And if the A is open, when you play an A chord, then the F is going to have to be open. So that's one way of doing it, right? You can also it's practice, right? Just get the musical alphabet. So again, we're kind of high. We'll say I was playing it lower now, just in another key. Like we'll say here. Does that matter? So if I was going, so that's nice. So, you know, So that's nice, you know. Just trying to find all of these sounds that I've kind of built up, and many of these sounds are by accident, right? Just exploring. So depending on what kind of sounds I want, right? If there's a lot of six, if I want this kind of six sound, right? And if we're having to be in an exact key because of circumstance, musical circumstance, that's cool. There's still lots of options, right? At least 2 or 3 options usually. Maybe 4 or 5, depending on how high you want to go up the neck. Okay, so there's the key of A. Now continuing through Cage, we have the key of G next. So let's say I was just right here. The original's in F, so that's really high to capo up. That'd be capo like 11, right? Ridiculous. Or 10, capo 10. So I'll just play it here. That's nice, right? And actually what you could do, I won't do it right now, but you could down tune, right? Down tune a whole step down, which is so beautiful. I recommend it highly. Especially if your strings are about to be maybe on the changing side of age, then you can just down tune, play some beautiful low sounds, feel the guitar vibrating against your body. That's like my favorite pastime. And then go down to where your G would be F, because it's a whole step down. Cool, that would be beautiful. I almost want to do it, it's worth it, but you should try it. Let me know how it feels. But this is nice. If I were playing it here, I might go, I like that, but I like that. I might even mess with it and drop D, even in the key of G, but I don't know. Yeah, I like that too. D over F sharp, right back to G. Okay, and then we have E. So let's say we're staying in this key for a second. If I go up to capo 6. That's nice. So I like in the key of E doing stuff like this. This little moving that up. So that, you know, whatever, I like to include open strings. I'm a sucker for it. But if I was doing, you know, maybe I have to. That's kind of low for the, but it depends, right? You have to work on this stuff when you're doing an arrangement. It really depends on the melody and your creativity, really. You're kind of knowing the key. Ooh, that's a clunker. So that's also a variable. I'm glad I did that. Mistakes are good. Because some of these keys do have a liability like this. The key of E is one of those. It's like such a beautiful key. I love the sound, but it is a little bit of a liability. So playing in the key of G is much easier with no capo than the key of E capo 3. And I know you're probably, you know, most people are not in this position to like make these choices or think about this. But if you start to really get good at numbers, you can be. And then changing keys is just a piece of cake, right? And the thing I wanted to really show with this video is just these change in sound, right? And this is something to practice. This is your homework if you want it. You should listen to, when you hear guitar, rhythm guitar, there's almost always a tell. There's almost always something you can kind of tell the key center it's in. And again, I don't have perfect pitch. I can kind of make an educated guess based on my vocal range, what something's in. Sometimes I have pitch memory too, like where I'll hear, like here, I'll try this with the E. I think it's here. Yeah, but we've been doing a bunch of music, but right, I've just got that sound of a guitar string, right? And many guitarists I know can do that. So all to say that there's something that will sound a certain way. So you'll hear something like, let's say it's like, that kind of movement, right, in G. That it just sounds like, oh, I know what that is, right? Or maybe it's like, from, you know, actual song examples, there's like that Foo Fighters tune, Everlong, right? That sounds like drop D. It sounds like this. I'm not gonna tune down, but, and it sounds like this kind of power chordy thing. the low note sounds extra low, not E. Or let's say I've got something in like A. I just taught this tune. What is it? Boom. Butchering James Taylor. Right, but there's this slide. And those are really guitar friendliest things with open notes, right? So there's all this context. Or let's say it's this famous D stuff, like Free Fallin, right? It sounds like D, D movement, or the key of C. That this voicing of C sounds a certain way. So I encourage you to experiment with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits today. I will have the diagrams for Take On Me, and I'll go and put Free Fallin' on there too. And I would try this, right? I might even include a list of all these chords that I used. But there's really not that many, and if you really dial down with one key at a time, and you just slowly eat the elephant, right? Terrible metaphor. I need to pick a better one, but you just need to like really digest this information and live it, right? Just a little bit every day. Like everyone can practice like going C, D, E, F, G. So C, F, G, 1, 4, 5, right? And like having that correlate for a lot of people I think is helpful than just kind of trying to use your ear or guess at it. A little piano study wouldn't hurt either, right? But really try to find these sounds, get your intuition working to try to find the right chords and try to change keys for songs. And you'll learn a bunch. It's super cool. So, okay, until next time, I will see you then. Thanks.